Hey, welcome back to our Scotland van series. Right now we just got to, I believe it's pronounced Neist.
Neist.
I believe I believe it's pronounced Neist. And I think it's Neist Point. But it's a really beautiful part of the island that we haven't been to yet. We haven't seen Neist Point itself yet, but we've seen back here and it looks insane.
The drive up here was actually so crazy. There's a really horrible traffic jam right here on this single lane track, and it's super backed up behind us and super backed up in front of us, and it's only getting worse.
So here in Scotland they have these single track roads. That means that the road is only wide enough to fit one car, and every 100 yards or so they have a spot where the pavement goes out and it gives you an area to be able to pass the other cars. The problem with this spot was that it was on a steep cliff and there were no passing areas. So we had all of these cars just backed up, going both directions. Nobody could fit past each other. So the cars on this side had to start backing up, and then these people had to start going this way.
And we had to get backed into like this little corner, but this little corner made it a really tight squeeze for other people to get around us.
This is not looking too good. All these little cars have barely fit. Taylor's back there guiding people. Doing a great job.
Hey Trey, we might actually have more room for people to squeeze right here if we just backed up a little bit. I can guide you.
Okay.
If we backed up a little bit, I'll make sure you don't go off this cliff.
The reason we can't get any farther down that way is because there's a small cliff right there, so we're stuck only getting this far.
That was really freaky. That was super freaky, but we made it down. It actually took forever because there's probably like 50 cars, at least 50 cars.
At least 50 cars had to pass by us with edges on both sides of the road, and they had about that much space to work with. Anyways, it was a tough situation getting up here. So because of that, we're gonna do Neist Point tonight so that in the morning we can leave at 6 a.m. before anybody else is on that road, so there won't be any traffic. So we're gonna head down there, go check it out, and then we'll come back and make some dinner and have a nice cozy night, and then we'll be leaving early in the morning.
Woohoo!
And of course there are sheep down there. There's sheep everywhere. What is this? Is that a zip line? Well, we weren't quite prepared for the muddy ground. We're trying to figure out a way to get up to there.
Straight up mud with a little bit of grass on it. What's that dark cloud? Oh god. Oh god. Okay. Okay. Alright.
Hurry.
I quit. Look.
Yeah.
There's nowhere for me to go. I don't have anywhere to go. My shoes have completely soaked through.
Alright, so as you just saw, Taylor's shoes kind of got wrecked by the mud, and it was really cold out there. Her feet were soaked and muddy, so we decided to just head back to the van for the night.
When I took my shoe off, my entire sock was like brown, so I needed to come back. And I was a little hangry, so I think it was just a better scenario for us to just come back.
We got her back, and we got her shoes clean, we got her an ice cream popsicle, and she's doing good now. But anyways, so we'll just adjust our plans a little bit and get to bed early tonight. We're gonna make a really good dinner. We have some breaded chicken in the oven, and then I think we're gonna do chicken tacos. So we're gonna do that tonight, then we'll get to bed. And we'll wake up early in the morning and go check out that area down there. It looked really cool. We only saw it for a couple seconds, but we really need to see it from the farther angle where you can really see the peninsula. We're actually really excited to just have a nice chill night tonight because look at our view for the night. That's definitely our craziest campsite we've had on this trip. There's a waterfall there. Down there's another waterfall. So yeah, with that view, I think it's gonna be a really nice night. So start eating dinner and get to bed. Dinner turned out really good. This windstorm just came out of nowhere. As It's shaking the whole van like crazy. Just listen to how loud it is. Was blowing just like this for the whole night, and it's, I don't know if you can tell, but it's shaking the whole van, just constantly doing this. That made for a very long night. Every time a big gust hits, so every time a big gust hits, the whole van shakes, and it makes the loudest noises. It sounds like these top window pieces are gonna rip off. Last night as we went to bed, there were like 20 RVs in this whole parking lot that were all sleeping here, and when we woke up this morning there's only like 5 left. So everybody left in the middle of the night because they were probably a little scared. We kept thinking we were gonna like flip over, and like it felt like it was like picking up the car a little bit. Gosh, we're gonna flip over and fall into the ocean. Anyways, our plans have to change again. We have to be flexible with our plans because this is a place with unpredictable weather, so we have to be flexible with our plans. Before we leave, I do want to run down and just see this view once. I want to see the peninsula. I want to see the lighthouse. So I'm just going to grab the GoPro, bundle up, and make a mad dash for the viewpoint. And then we're going to get out of here. For a second next to this building. It's blocking the wind. This is insane. I've never felt wind like this. It pushes so incredibly hard. It is literally like there's just a person there pushing me. It's just such a powerful force. It's really, really cool to experience. I need to get up here. And I promised Taylor that if there was anything scary or anything else, I would come back. And I also did a 10-minute timer. And I have to be back at that time or she's gonna get worried. So I have just a couple minutes to go up there, see the view, and get back. That's crazy. Wow, that was so much fun to go experience that extreme of weather, and I made it back in time. So yeah, we're just gonna get out of here because this is just insane. We can't make breakfast. with the van rocking this much. So we're gonna go get on the road, get past that scary road before it gets busy, and we'll probably go to this place called Dunvegan Castle, and it doesn't open till 10, but we'll go park in the parking lot and make some breakfast and wait till it opens because we want to check that out. And it's a great indoor activity to do on a windy day.
We just drove down from Neist Point. The wind was insane. We needed to get out of it, just like everybody else. On the way down, we actually passed all the RVs. It seems like everybody last night left because it was so windy and went and found other places on the side of the road to park. So good for them. We did not do that. But it is still early, maybe like 7:30, and we just drove down to Dunvegan Castle. It doesn't open for a couple hours, so we found a nice parking lot to sit at to waste some time. I think we're gonna make some breakfast and watch the lightning, because actually we just got hit with a crazy rainstorm, lightning storm. This is actually our first time seeing lightning here, so this should be fun.
Okay, we just got to Dunvegan Castle and we're about to go inside, but we're really excited to see this one.
So they actually allow cameras in this one. Think of this part. These pans right here, they would fill them up with hot coal, and they put them in the beds to keep the people warm. Yeah. This is crazy. This is amazing. This place only opened 30 minutes ago too, and there's so many people here to do it. They would wear an otter face as a wallet.
This is a wallet?
Yeah, they use it as a wallet. This castle was built in the 1200s. Been massively renovated, but this is so impressive. It's crazy. Yeah. So the Macaleo clan is who owned this castle, and the current chief, they've owned it since the 1200s. So like 800 years they've owned it, and the current chief actually lives in part of this castle. It's massive. It's so big.
That was definitely a really awesome experience going in that castle. I think that was my favorite one we've been in. The history of it was just amazing. So many things happened there, and it was really old. One of the things I thought was the coolest was they had a dungeon, like a real dungeon, and they strategically placed it right next to the kitchen because they wanted to torture the people in the dungeon because they're starving to death, and they wanted them to smell the food while they're starving to death. They were brutal back then with that stuff. They also had a lot of cool, really old weapons. I thought those were really cool. Old swords and knives, and outside they had the cannons. Now we're just walking around the gardens, which are really nice and pretty. Can only imagine what kind of things happened in these gardens back in the day.
So that castle was crazy. We've only been to a couple, but that one definitely takes #1 for all of the history that was in it. One thing that I thought was really crazy is they had something called a fairy flag, and I kept trying to understand, like, what is the importance of this really old ripped up flag? And there wasn't really anything on it, just like 2 red lines. I believe they found it in like the 1500s, but it dates back to 300 AD. That is so old. Like, we saw a flag that was 1700 years old, which is absolutely nuts. I can't even fathom that. That doesn't even make sense in my brain. I read a story where they said that there was a child crying, and when his mother went to the child in the castle, the child had the flag laying over it, and they believe that it was brought by fairies to come and like soothe the child and calm it. I don't know. Something else I thought was really cool was all of the artwork. It was just everywhere. It was big and it was beautiful. It was really cool to see the self-portraits. It's interesting to see the significance of the self-portraits, how if you were, you know, higher up there, like that's something you got done, and these were life-size portraits. So it says on here that Isle of Skye, there's hardly any trees. All the trees that you see planted are like really close to people's homes, and you can see that they have probably planted them themselves. They actually cut down all the trees in Skye because the trees could hide the robbers. They wanted to have a clear sight of everything, like as far as they could see. So they actually didn't have like the trees here, and the garden was bare up until the 1700s, and this castle was built in the 1200s. So for 500 years, this was just flat land. And now it's a crazy garden. Like, wow, that's even the 1800s, and it's not even close to what it looks like now.
I don't know if Taylor mentioned this, but the chief of the clan in this area actually still lives in this castle. The weather actually cleared up really nice. Still really windy, but we can't really feel it down here in the trees or around the castle. But the sun came out, and it feels so good to feel the sun for the first time in a while. That castle is actually like really cool. I'd recommend anybody to go check that one out. It's called Dunvegan Castle. I'm definitely really glad that we did that. So now our plan is going to be a little different than the rest of this week has been. We actually turn in our van tomorrow, and we turn it in Inverness, which is about 3.5 hours from where we are right now. So I think now we're going to start heading in that direction. If we see anything along the way, we're going to stop and check it out. The amazing thing about a van is that if we see anything we like enough, we can just spend the night there and spend as much time there as we want. There's a cool looking bridge down here. I'm going to come check it out. This southern area of Skye is actually really cool. Didn't have a lot of time to explore it because I think the northern part's better, but this is definitely worth checking out. Look how cool this bridge is. Back behind it, there's a bunch of mountains, and it creates a pretty nice backdrop and composition for a photo. Everywhere you drive in Scotland, it's just so entertaining. We haven't been like listening to music or anything like that. We've just been like looking around for these couple hour-long drives because it's just so pretty and entertaining, and just like new landscapes that it just never gets boring. Alright guys, so now we're parked next to the Loch Ness right outside of Inverness. We're sadly wrapping up our time in this van. We have to go turn it in tomorrow morning. It has been one of our favorite trips we've actually ever taken. It's kind of funny, coming into this trip, staying in a van for a whole week, we kind of expected that we'd have some pretty uncomfortable moments and we would miss out on some of the luxuries that you usually get with hotels and Airbnbs. But we've actually both talked about how this has been probably our most comfortable trip ever. The convenience of always having everything we needed with us at all times, and being able to stop and make food or take a nap or just do anything we needed anytime really improved the quality of this trip. This will definitely not be the last van series that we have. There's a lot more places we want to check out, and I think the best way to check them out would be in a van.
So this van right here we rented from Highland Campervans. They're located in Inverness, Scotland. And they seriously made our experience amazing. It was so clean, it is so nice, they were so helpful. I actually don't think that we had any problems.
If you've made it all the way to the end of our van series, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so that you can see what goes on the rest of our trip. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.